Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. Poland's largest opposition party is facing its most serious internal split in more than 2 decades after former Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki confirmed he will launch a new political party by mid-October. Now, the breakup could reshape the country's conservative opposition ahead of the 2027 parliamentary election and alter the balance of Polish politics. Joining us now to discuss it further is Bartosz Wieliński, Deputy Editor-in-Chief at Gazeta Wyborcza. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, hello, thanks for having me.
So there's a lot of drama between these two individuals, but I want to cut to the chase and just go exactly as to this announcement, this Rozwój Plus, this Development Plus, potentially new party. Why this exact date? Why the significance? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, what's significant in that is the question of succession. Who is the leader of Polish rights movement? Jarosław Kaczyński is, well, let's say it's an aged politician. He's 76, 77 now. So this is not, the age for performing full-time duties, managing duties, political duties, and his grip over the party is also weakened. We observed that for many months, and he has a serious concurrence on the right side. The both parties called confederations. One is led by Grzegorz Braun, the other by Sławomir Mencen, and these are far-right parties, typical far-right parties. So Kaczynski's position was deteriorating, and like in every wolf pack, when the alpha male is getting weak, he's soon eliminated by the most powerful wolf in the pack and replaced. And that's the scenario which that we observe in the PIS party. The problem is that Morawiecki isn't as powerful as Kaczyński used to be, and he won't be able to unite the right in Poland. His only possibility is to create some kind of refuge within the right, refuge for rather modern, a little bit more progressive conservative movement, and according to the polls, approximately 6 to 8% of Polish voters would tend to support his party, which isn't a brilliant result, but still he may be the kingmaker in a situation when the right parties would be about to create a new government after the election next year. So the situation is complicated, and this is somehow return to the past. In 90s, Polish right was severely fragmented. There were, dozens of rightish, far rightish parties on the scene, and they couldn't get along together. They couldn't cooperate. They couldn't agree on the names of a common presidential candidate, for example. And only Kaczyński's return to the politics, to the big politics in 2000, enabled this unification process of Polish right, which lasted for a decade. And now this is over. We are back in 90s with more than, now 4, but probably it could be also more right and rightish parties.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, it's complicated and also fragmented. But I just want to also ask, interesting you point out that in your mind, you said Morawiecki, the former prime minister, is not as powerful as Mr. Kaczyński at the moment, perhaps. If you're looking at some of these people that have split, have jumped with him from the Conservative Law and Justice Party, about 40 of them. But I'm just wondering, if I'm a voter now, and if we're looking at these different parties, if we're looking at if it does become the case that this Development Plus will be a political party, there's a threshold that they might come into parliament, that's some of the analysts say. But at its core, how do they really differ? I know Morawiecki has released these 10 pillars on security, sovereignty, migration, but what really on the menu, how is it different from normal conservatives, or how are these different things? What is the voter getting in essence here?
Well, Morawiecki wants to be, predictable. So he's not a crazy far-right politician. He's not Alice Weidel style, or he rather wants to be a Polish Giorgia Meloni. So established conservative politician who is able to be, flexible within the values, who could create broader coalitions with centrist parties and with the rightist parties. He wants to be progressive, and not dogmatic, and he would like to remain within the European Union. So these are, this marks for his political credo. So he's rather like Meloni, maybe like Le Pen. We don't know what will happen in France next year. We could have a far-right president in France. But the problem is that Polish right as a whole drifts in the right corner, is more and more radical. And it will be difficult for him to compete with persons like Grzegorz Braun, who is very, authentic in his anti-European, anti-Western slurs. And he's able to attract approximately 10% of Polish voters' population, few points more than Mr. Morawiecki. And he's real. He didn't govern. He had no position in the government. He has a radical far-right program similar to well, I'd compare him with Farage, with those local AfD politicians from Germany, from neo-Nazi root movement. This force, this strong radicalism and this strong desire to destroy the system and recreate it. Well, that sounds frightening if you know European history, but this is attractive in Poland. Some Polish citizens are fed up with the situation we have, and they demand a new beginning. And some of them, says that spoiling of blood is necessary to forge a new future for this country. So this is frightening. And this is the opponent both Kaczyński and Morawiecki will have to face. This new radicalism, which is of course powered by Russia. The Russian influence over this movement is clearly visible, and no one can deny that Russia didn't meddle into Polish politics and didn't support such destructive, aggressive forces like Grzegorz Braun's.
And also what matters a lot to Poles and our region generally, I think, for Europe. You mentioned Russia already. In terms of security and defense, I mean, where does Morawiecki stand on that? I mean, he was prime minister already. I mean, law and justice have very much been in the past, very much about a strong presence in NATO. Do they differ there on security and defense in terms of Kaczyński and Morawiecki? Just briefly before we close.
Well, Morawiecki had international relations. Kaczyński didn't travel a lot. Kaczyński, took part in few, international meetings during his tenure as a grey eminence of previous government. Morawiecki is internationally recognized and networked. So he has allies. He has relations with Meloni. He has relations with Friedrich Merz, which of course he tries to deny now because German connection isn't something good for right politicians now. He has relations with Le Pen. He used to support her 4 years ago before the presidential election in France. So he understands that foreign policy is important. Kaczyński didn't. And he also if he'd be again a prime minister, he would try to play a role within the European Union.
Yeah. But on that, sorry to jump in.
That's good news.
Yeah. So on European Union, also foreign policy, I mean, a lot of these issues, but as you said, it will be also domestic issues. A lot of polls will judge both of these men on. But look, we'll have to close it there, unfortunately. Always appreciate you having your insights here with us. Bartosz Wieliński from Gazeta Wyborcza. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, but do stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.